Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris, and this is an average gamer's guide to Battlefield 4. And today we're going to be talking about tank driving. I'm going to throw you guys and gals some helpful tips to hopefully up your game, but I'm going to go ahead and illustrate all these points and tips by giving you a play-by-play of some clips that I feel really make my point. Just so you know, I already have another guide up on how to be a better Battlefield player overall, so go ahead and click that if that at all interests you. But with all that said, let's go ahead and dive right on in to tip number 1.
There's another tank over the ridge there.
Tip number 1. Whenever it's advantageous, present the front of your tank to the enemy. The front of your tank has the most armor, and thusly will take the least amount of damage whenever you have an enemy shoot at you. Let's look what we have here in this situation. We have an enemy tank that comes around the hill, has clear cover on both sides of him, and would easily be able to have decent range of movement because there's nothing really inhibiting him. But let's go ahead and see what exactly happens.
I missed both. What are you talking about?
So right now he's already made 3 major mistakes. The first one being he completely left the cover that he has, which still allows him to have plenty of mobility, so he has plenty of protection. Second, he shoots his shell at my gunner and completely misses, wasting his ability to actually damage me. And third is he actually presents the side of his vehicle to me, and I get in almost 50% of his health in one shot. Take note that as he's come around my side, I have pivoted the front of my armor to continue to follow him. He exposes his weaknesses, and I only show my strengths. As this player just found out, tank battles are usually decided within the first shot or two. So when he gave me those advantages and handed them straight to me, it was sealed deal, and he became just beautiful, easy points for me.
I'm here, watch the tank coming over there.
Tip number 2 is mobility is king. Now, in this situation, we see another tank coming right over the hill, aiming at me. Now, there's 3 things that immediately pop up. First, he's aiming a guided shell at me, giving me a chance to be able to pop my IR smokes. Second is that I'm at 66 health and will not be able to engage him and win in a front-to-front fight. And third is I have 0 ammo to my name and have to wait for it to respawn. So immediately, I back up and pop my smokes, just barely dodging his first rocket. I then brake left, enjoying some sweet open space, and haul ass. My enemy again makes another mistake and sits completely still.
Objective Alpha is neutralized.
My enemy continues to sit still, allowing mobility to be completely my advantage. He fires off another shot, but I have already stopped and have begun moving forward, again using mobility to my advantage, dodging his shot. I'm a pretty decent shot at range and also on the move depending on the terrain, and so I know the second that I get the ammo reloaded back into my cannon, I fire right off and I get a nice hit. I now have a hit advantage on him. In a last-ditch effort, my enemy throws up his guided shells, to which I counter with my IR smokes, giving myself some time to wait for my ammo to respawn so I can get another shot right on into him. Seeing the attack helicopter come right over the ridge, I immediately move right back into my smokes, breaking their lock on as well.
Okay, I'm gonna repair this.
So using mobility to my advantage clearly helped me win this engagement. I started out at a massive disadvantage. I had no ammo, I had weakened armor, and using my mobility, my ability to dodge, my ability to move through different terrain, it allows me to be able to outperform this enemy while he sat completely still, allowing me to have just a stationary target to hit. That is exactly why mobility will always be king. Tip number 3 is to change up your playstyle depending on what area you are fighting in. If you're fighting in an open area like this, your job as a tank, especially in Conquest, is to push forward Blitzkrieg, Lightning War, German Lightning War. It is to get into those points, it is to take down enemy tanks, it is to take down enemy infantry, get around their sides, get around to their rear, and just get in those sweet shots. You are a mobile destruction machine, and out in the open, tanks are at their greatest. So try to enjoy that. Try to ensure that you are always moving around the side of your enemy, moving around the points, moving to the next point as soon as you capture, and using that to your advantage. That is exactly what tanks are meant to do. In enclosed spaces, the best thing that you could possibly have is a gunner. But even if you don't have one, the best playstyle that you can really take it is to slow down. No more blitzkrieging. There are going to be times, of course, when using your speed to your advantage is going to be possible. But really, in an enclosed space, you really just want to focus on trying to be that turret, but more of one that progresses up. Imagine a convoy of sorts, where that you want to be moving with infantry ideally to a point, and that you want to be basically a distraction for enemy infantry to focus on and for enemy vehicles to focus on potentially. You want to try to stay alive as much as possible. You want to make sure that you are rooting out every possible alleyway where you could get attacked. You want to try to check all these little nuggets, because the longer that you stay alive in an enclosed space, you have massive firepower. You are, again, that distraction against enemy infantry. Every single assault in the area, even engineers to a certain extent and support to a certain extent, is going to be scared of you. They're going to want to run away from you. They're for the most part, because they see you as a challenge. Now, if you can distract them, stay alive, dodge shots, you know, only present what's wrong with you, especially again when you have a gunner that can jump out and repair you, then you are going to be a major distraction, and your ally infantry is going to be able to move in and be able to hopefully take out that infantry as well and be able to get on that point and help you secure it. That's your job as a tank in an enclosed area. Going against other vehicles, again, this is where having a gunner is very advantageous, because I know for me that all my friends that are gunners will jump out, take their rockets out, and shoot an enemy tank like you just saw. That is exactly what gives me a big advantage in an enclosed area. If you don't have a gunner, especially a gunner that you can trust, then the best thing to do is to have some kind of escape route, have some kind of way to get away and save your tank, because a tank that is alive is a tank that gets points. I have two small points that I want to make, but while I do that, I'm going to go ahead and just roll how I customize my tanks personally, because I think that might help some people. But the first one is, don't forget to use your minimap. This is very key in Battlefield in general, but again, in vehicles, it's going to help you be able to realize where enemy flanks are, where enemy, the rear of an enemy vehicle is, so it's going to help you get around and be more mobile easier. And the other one is, don't forget to communicate. If you have a gunner, try to use, your Q communication abilities. And if you're in Vent TeamSpeak, try to make sure you're communicating all the time. It's going to make things a lot easier for you. But if you guys enjoyed this guide, please like, share, favorite, and subscribe. I have plenty more guides that should be coming out on Battlefield 4. I'm also doing a spotlight series on a bunch of different games, giving you my opinions on them, so I hope you guys will check those out as well. And I'll see you guys next time.
Just 4 tanks here.